Over to our Mike Yawney, who is doing something that's right up his alley. Mike, I have to be honest, last week we were making fun that you have an inclination to get injured when you fill in on location, but hopefully that's not the case today.
Oh, hopefully not the case, but you know what, I gotta say, you guys, when I walked in here this morning, the smell of the sawdust brought me back to high school shops.
Oh,
it brought
yeah.
me all the way back,
Shop
and
class.
I thought to myself, did you guys take shop class?
Absolutely.
The first project, yeah, everyone does, right? The first project we were given, and now when I think back of it, it's kind of odd. We had the choice between a spice rack and a gun rack.
Oh, and a gun rack.
Those were our options. Those were our options in Manitoba for our first project.
Where did you attend that class?
I was going to say, ours was not a gun rack. Our options were a spice rack or a very small table. No guns involved in my high school.
Well, I gave my gun rack to my mom. So, and
Because
it
Mom
never
has
did
so
get
many
used.
guns?
That's right. It couldn't even hold all of her guns. Yeah. No, the gun rack went into the closet, or to the garage, and I think it's still sitting there to this day, full of dust. It never did get filled. But students these days getting a lot more options and building gun racks and spice racks. I want to introduce you to Scott McPherson. He's the Dean of the School of Carpentry here at SAIT. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm great. You know what? You were saying that this is one of the oldest buildings on the SAIT campus, yet you would never know looking around the shop.
That's right. This building reopened last year. It's the oldest building on SAIT campus. They did renovation to it, and it looks brand new.
So this is one of the brand new shops classroom, the carpentry classrooms.
Yes, that's correct.
Lots of stuff here. I mean, this is not just basics. I mean, we've gone way beyond, you know, the small tables and the spice racks. It seems like there's equipment here to do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they don't build gun racks here, but they
could.
They could, and they could frame a house in here, which is the students are learning the components of framing, and they could essentially build a house in here. And we do build a house at SAIT in one of our other labs just down the hall, so yeah, they're quite multi-purpose.
So these are real-world skills students are learning here.
That's right. The students here are learning the skills that are applicable to the first-year apprenticeship trade.
Now, the cool thing about the program, I think, is the fact that, yes, you could be a university or college student coming in here, but the fact that you welcome high school students, that's what I think really sets us apart. Maybe explain that.
Sure. So this is the first dual credit trade program at SAIT, and we have grade 10 students, grade 11 students, grade 12 students. There's 16 in total coming here to learn the carpentry trade. And what I love about it is it doesn't mean that they're going to be a carpenter. It means that they decide whether or not they want to be a carpenter, whether or not they want to get into the trades, or maybe something else is for them.
So they get, I'm assuming, credit for high school,
They
they also get credit for the actual program at SAIT.
They do. So it's called a dual credit program, but it's essentially a triple credit program. So from this, they'll get their high school credits, they'll get their SAIT pre-employment certificate, and they'll also be eligible to write their first-year apprenticeship exam.
And like you said, I mean, it's one thing to, maybe you don't want to go into a trade, but to know how to be able to frame a wall, if let's say you're renovating your basements, to have those skills right out of high school, that's amazing. That's something I don't even know how to do.
I agree. And what we tell the students is that you could start working this summer with a home builder, with a renovator, applying the skills that you learn in this classroom.
Very cool stuff. We're going to be meeting some of those high school students on a little later this morning, Ted and Jill. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can find a project here that maybe I can strap on the tool belt and get my safety glasses on.
Yes.
He's held that hammer the entire segment.
We can make a spice rack or a pen rack here for us here at Breakfast Television.
Gun rack. We don't need that.
We don't need a gun rack.
Nope.
We're good.
We are good on that.